scheduling, enforcing SOPs, training, developing of people, of employees, of managers or supervisors. All on me, all my responsibility. Inventory, all the things that I was trained on, now they're 100% my responsibility. What was the hardest part of taking over? That's a good question. Inventory. Doing inventory on a monthly basis. You had to discard linen, and we managed our own laundry, so it wasn't just housekeeping, it was a laundry department as well. So when you had to count inventory, you had to, what were you going to discard? What new stuff did you have? What was your par levels? All those different things were not hard. It's just that it took time. It was really time consuming. Another thing would be just dealing with employees. I mean, that's an ongoing thing because that's your biggest asset for the most part, and you want to make sure everybody's on track to do whatever your goals are. They're on track to make sure they achieve those goals, and those goals are on a daily basis for the most part. That's cleaning however many rooms, that's make sure the hotel is looking the best it can for the guests. And being in housekeeping, you don't have a lot of guest interaction for the most part. Most of the interaction is between you and your employees, your supervisors, your employees, and because you're constantly walking the floors, you're constantly having conversations, you're constantly training and retraining. So that of any position that I ever had was really employee. It was centered around the employee or the associate. So I got to spend a lot of time, and it was challenging, right? But if you ask me today, and probably if you ask me, probably after I left, housekeeping department, or maybe just you just ask me now, what was the most fun I've ever had, and what was the best department I ever worked in? Although it was the most challenging as well, housekeeping by far to this day is still the best department I've ever worked in, because you're dealing with people and you're able to, train people, and not everyone got on board, right? But there was a few that did. And those are the ones that not saying I only concentrate on the ones that wanted to do it, but sometimes you do put a lot of your efforts into the people that really want to excel and do well. And I remember this one young lady, her name was Nancy. I don't remember her last name, but her name was Nancy. And I remember her coming as, I think she was a referral from a friend of hers who worked at the hotel, who already worked in housekeeping. And she came in, I just remember she didn't speak, her English was not that great, right? I mean, she could, some words, and just like my Spanish wasn't that good either, but I can make out some of the things they were saying. So, and she made it a point to let me know that she was learning English. She was going to go to school and learn English because she wanted to do well in housekeeping. And I just remember that. And I remember me spending more time with her because she was willing to learn. She started off as a housekeeper, of course, but she just excelled in that. She would clean. Not only was she efficient, or she was fast, she was efficient. Things were in place. Things were clean. She didn't have to, sometimes you have to send housekeepers back if they don't clean according to your standards. You have to send them back. Hey, you forgot this, you forgot that. Can you go back and fix it? Very seldom did I have to do that with her. So I made her a supervisor. Okay. So fast forward like 25 years later, I am doing a site tour of a hotel in Long Beach, and I'm with I think she was the general manager. I'm with the general manager of this particular hotel. And she introduces me to the director of sales and marketing and this housekeeping manager. And it happens to be Nancy from like 25 years early. The person that I had promoted to supervisor is now a manager at that particular hotel. And when she introduced me to her, I looked at her and I knew her right away, right? And I said, "You're Nancy, right?" She goes, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" I said, "You used to work." And before I got it all out, she was like, I remember you too. You gave me an opportunity years ago, and her English was perfect now. Okay. So it was that just, to me, that just sealed it for me, right? You're not gonna touch everybody, reach everyone, but if you can reach one person, and I mean, that was the, I don't, that was probably the highlight of my career. Just knowing that I touched that one person and that person went on to do some great things.